to introduce you all to Kelly Fitzgerald. Reverend Kelly Fitzgerald is a pastor and a liturgical, what did we call you? Enthusiast, a liturgical enthusiast.
All liturgical.
If you don't know, she started a couple of Facebook groups that I started following when I was a pastor, a solo pastor, and I found her ideas were implementable in the church, and that's saying something. So we know that Kelly, we know that Lent has already started, but the idea is that Kelly will help us today to infuse creativity into our Lenten season. So Kelly, welcome and take it away.
Thanks. Yeah, Lent's already here. So you guys probably have your theme already, your devotionals are bought, your worship services are 80% planned, 90% planned, or maybe you have no idea what's going on Holy Week. They're just on the calendar. And so you're just going to roll with it. So I wasn't going to throw a ton of ideas today because you know your space and you know your context and you know what works and you know what doesn't work. But I really just wanted to take a second and I love the liturgical year. I've really globbed onto it when I was doing family ministry because I thought it gave a great rhythm to church life together, and then also gave really good inroads for families and households of faith to kind of lean into those bigger rhythms, right? As we saw people falling away from a 52 Sunday a year worship service, you know, how could we convince them to kind of celebrate? I call them Jubilee days. I don't know if that really makes any sense, but kind of those bigger high holidays of the church year. You know, so as a church leader, I put a lot of time planning an Ash Wednesday service or a Pentecost service, or then Christ the King Sunday or Advent 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and just encouraging families to kind of mark their church life and church attendance in years by following that rhythm. And so for me, those Sundays just kind of became bigger than life. You know, why not put red here if you can put red everywhere for Pentecost? So when you hear creativity in Lent, I don't want you to think it's just about decorating. It's just about, you know, buying everything at Oriental Trading Company and going to town with a theme. It's not like VBS Sunday meets all the church Sundays of the year. It's just really starting to think about what that extra would be for folks to really pick up what you're trying to put down. What's that kind of overall theme you want them to lead with for the day? So I'm going to try to share my screen here. And right, we should be doing this better by now. Where's all my buttons? They always disappear. My first question for you all will be, think back to Advent and Christmas and think about what has worked for you during that time. Can you guys share some of the things that your congregation really is excited about during Christmas or Advent? What are things they really enjoy doing year after year?
I'll share first.
Yeah, just I can't see you when I'm in this view. I'm terrible at it. So just tell me some stuff.
Yeah. So the Advent Festival where we made Advent wreaths, that was a real hands-on thing that we were able to do outdoors, and there were some other Advent crafts. And I didn't realize how much my kids missed it the year before, but it felt like it was right. And it gave us tangible takeaways for the rest of the season.
So kind of an Advent workshop.
Yeah.
Things for Advent. Great. Anything else for people?
Kelly.
Really worked.
Kelly.
Yeah.
You're not sharing your screen. I don't know if you thought you were or not, but.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just FYI.
Okay. I clicked the little button.
Well, our church does live nativity. and we get a petting zoo that has the animals that would have been in the manger. Our biggest hit is always the camel, but
Okay.
camels and donkeys and sheep and goats and because of COVID, we got selfie halos and shepherds things on selfie sticks, because normally we would let them put on Christmas pageant costumes to take pictures
Okay.
with the animals and with Mary and Joseph. But because of COVID this year, we had selfie sticks, and the kids our church has very few kids, but the neighborhood kids always show up to have a free petting zoo, basically. And then they all wanted to take selfies using the selfie sticks.
Great. Okay, think back to Advent. Anybody else want to share something that works really well? Or is received really well?
Decorating a Christmas tree.
Okay. Christmas. Do people like stay after church or come back and have dinner and decorate that?
Yeah, it's part of a Wednesday night dinner. People stay and we make kind of a big thing about it. And then we have like a hanging of the green service.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the Christmas tree, but just decorating the sanctuary and the church in general is something that the congregation looks forward to. And it's intergenerational. So the kids get involved all the way through our elderly members as well.
We made what are referred to as wee people, nearly life-size characters from the Nativity. And over the course of the Advent season, they move ever closer to the front of the sanctuary. Different characters show up to join the party, if you will.
Oh,
And,
how big are you talking here?
about 3/4 life size.
Okay.
And are they like stuffed and they have
Yeah.
on modern day clothing, or they look like the characters of Jesus Day?
Look like the characters of Jesus Day.
Okay, well, I like Advent because we pull out of the stops. We have a lot of stuff that is a long-standing thing that tend to work. But what are some things that you really, really put some energy and time into and thought, oh my gosh, everyone's going to love this, and then nobody did? This is some vulnerability here. Does anybody have any lessons learned from, I thought that would go over really well?
I don't know. Did you guys get one of those Advent journals that I put together?
Yeah.
And did you use it? So Columbia put together an Advent journal that's like an Advent devotional, but it's more of a place for you to reflect and write about blah, blah, blah. And we've done that for 2 years, and I have yet to have a moment in Advent where I can actually write something in a devotional or a journal.
I think a lot of congregations are putting together Advent devotionals, whether you go and get a church member to write one for every day or not. And then maybe the church members are getting them and just looking for the one they wrote and not reading it at all. I don't know. That seems like something that may have happened.
I think because of the pandemic, we had more people used our in-house written by members Advent devotion this than we have before, because I think like normally they would have done exactly what you just said, find theirs, do others, but hungry to be around each other. They hadn't heard each other's words from each other's mouths. They were a little bit more excited to read each other's words than they have been in the past. So.
Okay. I had a bad experience with trying to change Advent liturgy, candle lighting stuff one time to make it more interactive with some singing. And I had envisioned an acolyte always carrying the light in from the back of the sanctuary and lighting it up and having it just be this beautiful liturgical moment and singing moment. And it just fell flat. It was too much. It was too much logistics for people. They just wanted to light their candle and move on. And that was kind of a downer for me, I guess. Still beautiful. I'll share it with anybody who wants to try it. It was a really beautiful kind of turn of events. Okay, so we do put a lot of time and energy and attention into crafting these services. It does take some extra time to do the extra stuff. And when you do it, sometimes people have just a beautiful, exciting reaction to it, and they get it, and they get what you're trying to share out there. And then sometimes people aren't necessarily into what you're putting down. So to encourage you there, the church definitely can take a bigger step forward in just moving away from auditory transmission of ideas. We work on the 20-minute sermon, we write all the beautiful liturgy, we craft the prayer, we put it all together in the right order. And now that people are returning to sanctuaries, or before when they were in the sanctuaries, some people, probably me, myself, I can speak for, just want a little bit more. I wanted an experience. I wanted to be emotionally moved, emotionally touched, emotionally transported into a spiritual realm during that worship service. And so the easiest place to start in infusing creativity into your Lent is to start with your Sunday morning worship service, where people come or where they see online. And the main way that's kind of catching on right now, and our friends at Sanctified Art have a lot to do with that, and some of their suggestions of tablescaping. The Catholic Church has been doing this for years, altarscaping. And if you ever search on Pinterest or Google, altarscaping tends to get you more ideas than tablescaping. But since we have communion tables, we can literally clean out church closets and layer the stuff on. That's how I started. I never really went out and bought anything. I would just say, what does the church have? And of course, tucked in some closet somewhere was all this burlap left over from the Vacation Bible School 20 years ago. And then, look, like dead office plants just sitting around, bring those back to life a little bit. For some reason, plastic plants tend to congregate in weird upstairs Sunday school closets. I don't know. This is, if you're at an older church, this is like your treasure trove hunt. Just clean out those closets and start collecting things that would, when grouped together, tell a larger story. So if you're using the full to the brim, they've given you lots of ideas about jugs and tulle coming down to kind of represent water flowing out of a jug or things overflowing. But for Lent, obviously what you're trying to just hop on is really basic, right? Wilderness time, fasting, kind of like rough textures. We go for purple because it's the color of the liturgical color of the season. But honestly, any kind of like muted tone or kind of ombre scape where you're just playing off one color would add a lot just to kind of your tablescape. You can start to look at Joann's fabrics back on their sale racks, and sometimes they have really like cheap fabric, or Walmart, or Walmart sells fabric, and just start buying yards of this fabric when it's on sale. And it's amazing how you can drape it and cover it. I'm sure if you look at the fabric on these two pictures here, they have all sorts. That's probably a stool from the drum kit. That might be a piano bench. That could be a box from the latest Amazon thing. You start to pile that stuff up and then cover it in fabric, and then just kind of put stuff on top of it. And it creates these interesting visual layered effects where your eye is kind of drawn to kind of the overall. So rocks are easy, right? You buy bags of rocks and you keep those season after season. You just have them in your closet. You can pull them out and use them for all sorts of things. Did anybody attempt a tablescape this season? Does anybody have one up? Okay, I see some head nodding. You guys put some stuff out there. It's a great way to involve people too. The same people that decorated your Chrismon tree might be excited to do your tablescape for Lent. And one more thing, if you haven't already, get somebody in your church to build you a decent sized cross. You can use this thing anywhere, all the time, throughout the seasons. It's amazing what you can tie to this thing, add to this thing. It really is engaging in your worship space. So the table's front and center. I encourage you to look at your sanctuary and pretend you're 8 years old and just stare at the ceiling for a little bit. Go out in the pews and look around and be like, where's my negative space in this sanctuary? What is kind of missing? And then if you're ever just really bored in worship, kind of envision like how you would be able to do a pulley system to get something to be able to be rigged or hung up there. Once you found the right people to kind of do a little rigging for you, you could change this throughout the liturgical year. But for Lent, you could easily just drape your cross. You could easily drape your balcony. You could make one of these installations, again, calling on those same people that love to decorate your space for Advent. Even though you're not doing trees and poinsettias, maybe you could create something using branches. I love this one down here with the branches just going up into the space. I mean, it's like spray painted branches, but somehow somebody filled up that space with those branches, or hang things from the ceiling. Again, just in the liturgical colors. You're just trying to enhance the space so people are feeling like you have gone above and beyond to engage my eye in the feeling and sense of the liturgical season. And yes, I have used a tennis ball duct tape to fishing line to get stuff up and over trellises. It scared some pastors I worked with, but looks great. This is going to sound a little Disney World-ish, but if you have been ever involved with Disney hospitality, you know they kind of go above and beyond, right? Roger Nishioka used to talk about this a lot. The smell of the orange trees at the Epcot ride when you're flying over the orange trees in the hang glider simulator, right? It's that extra sense of I'm there, I'm experiencing something. I think in Disney, even like the background colors change depending on what land you're in. The music changes. Yeah, I think they even like change the smells at the restaurants and what's being wafted out into the crowds. And you can kind of do the same thing at church too. So people know, again, the season has been infused into their experience when they come to church. So two things I thought about. I love using lavender in my home during Lent. I even switch out all the little hand soaps that people use. No more citrus during Lent. We go to lavender. It's purple. I know there's not a big, strong liturgical tie there, but you know, I love the sense that everything in the house is trying to communicate the same thing. So think about your worship space. Is everything trying to communicate the same thing? If you have hospitality hour, maybe you just have a special cinnamon roll that is served every Lent, just for Lent. And then people will start to realize, your youngest people, especially, being like, it's Lent 1, we have cinnamon rolls, and we're going to get those the next 5 Sundays. You know, it becomes a thing that they know and they grow to expect then when they're worshiping with you. Okay. So I'm telling you to be, you can be very creative, but again, it's strong statements. Look at this, just a pile of rocks on the table, smooshed into a path, makes a very strong statement of the journey of Lent, but it's not super fancy and complicated. Simple burlap, simple purple, simple starkness. That's what you're trying to communicate this season. So simply doing it instead of trying to create all these extravagant things are going to send mixed messages. Just keep the message on your theme or the overall sense that Lent is Lenten. So once you've kind of brought it into your church, you can encourage people to bring it into their homes. During COVID, I know a lot of people got a little crazy with the Lent in the box, Advent in a box, church season in a box. And liturgical me was dying. You can't confine Lent to a box. People, it doesn't fit in a box. it fits into the rituals and rhythms of your daily life. And so encourage your families to have Lent expressed in their homes, rituals or traditions like having dinner together during Lent, or cleaning off, keeping the dining table stark. I have my little Lenten display back here with my Lenten items to kind of keep my little office holy, my little space. But my kids come in and see it moving around all the time, but they're allowed to engage in it. So Lent is not just a tiny little devotion or something we're doing. It's nighttime questions, you know, who are we praying for today? It's the pancake dinner that we hosted for the neighborhood at the beginning of the Lenten season. It's all those little things to really just say, no, this is a different time for us as a family. And so we take these next 40 days kind of seriously, because it's a great opportunity for us to grow as a family spiritually. So you got your church, you got your home, and now you need to be thinking about your community. Does anybody outside of your church know that it's Lent? Do your neighbors around your church know that it's Lent? Are you equipping your church members in any way to share with their friends and family that it's the season of Lent? This can be done in a variety of ways, but you really just have to look out your window, go out the front door of your church and see who's there and see what the Spirit inspires you to do to kind of share that message with someone. This is a church I actually interned with when I was at Columbia Theological Seminary up in Dunwoody. And they had their students make these cute little seed pods, and you could throw them out and they would start to grow, but they would just share those with, just gave those out, and then that people could share them with whoever they were inspired to. But it could be a service project day. It could be something reaching out into the community where you guys were intentionally doing it because of Lent, and you're telling people you're intentionally doing it because of Lent. So where are you guys right now? How are you doing? What do you have in the works that you would kind of be willing maybe to share with the group a little bit, some of the details of it, and give us a chance to kind of wonder with you or ask you some questions about it, or maybe find some opportunities to infuse some creativity into some of your upcoming programs, worship services, lessons? Anybody have anything they're willing to put out there for us to workshop?
Yeah, one of the things that I like to do is not only engage, but make sure there's an inspiration every day on our social media. This is a way to engage everybody all the time and engage with a whole lot of people that are not in the church community.
Yeah, so have you found creative ways to do that where people are responding to things when you're tracking it? What do people tend to interact with more?
If it's something that's from a church member, I found more people interacted with it. Like a poem that a church member had written a long time ago, I put it into Canva and made it really pretty, and her family all lit up and shared it. Other people shared it. It was our best shared post.
Okay.
And it was something she had written years ago, and she gave it to me to say, could you put it in a newsletter? I was like, I got you better. And
there's a thing called the internet.
right. But I think that, you know, those are, you know, sometimes the questions, and I know a lot of people are, but I found more people were engaging with it in ways that I like. There's a few people that like look at things, but they're in a different age range, and so they don't engage with it, like sharing, liking, commenting. But then they'll tell me on Sunday how much that helped their journey through the week. Is that, you know, there might have been a little bit of words that I said that I posted, or a little bit of a visual, or a reflective quote or scripture. And I usually do in Canva the day before a piece of the scripture for that's posted on social media to prepare my people for the sermon.
Cool. Are you doing that just for Lent, or do you do that year round?
I do that every week.
Every day. Okay. Cool. What are some other creative, out of the box ideas you guys are thinking about?
Hey, Kelly, I'm happy to share. It's Melissa
Hey,
McNair King.
Melissa.
We're trying something different that's going to be from Lent through Easter. So every week during the prayers of confession, during the silent portion of confession, we put tiles and Sharpies out on the pews, and we're asking people to write or draw something on the tile that's a sign of brokenness in the world. So it could be something personal, or hunger, war, whatever they want. So we're collecting those every week. On Good Friday, we're going to have our service outdoors and use hammers and smash all of the tiles as a symbol that Christ has destroyed the powers of evil and sin. And then on Sunday, in between our sunrise and 11 o'clock service, I really hope it works. We're going to use the broken pieces to create a mosaic.
Melissa, that is
Love the hammer and the smashing and the broken. That's you got audio, you got it all there. How are you gonna set it? How big are you thinking those mosaics are gonna be? Are they like stone steppers, or like?
No, it's going to be all one, like a large wooden cross.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how much of a control freak are you being? Do you have like a pattern you kind of want established or something?
No, my 6-year-old has designed the pattern.
Okay.
We're just going for a very forgiving grout.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you have an artist, or are you the artist that's doing all?
The chair of our worship committee has a neighbor that's designing that's going to build the cross for us. And then I've been scouring Pinterest for ways to make it come together in the end.
Where were you able to get tile? Did you just go to Home Depot or get a discount, or?
No, I posted on my local Buy Nothing group on Facebook, asking all my neighbors for any leftover tile from their basements.
Oh, even better. Wow. You have some really pretty pieces, or is it all like 4x4 white?
So it's mostly beige and white, but I just went over today and collected as much of the white ones as I could, and I'm going to have my kids tie-dye them with Sharpie and rubbing alcohol.
Oh, cute.
So then we'll have all colors.
That's not going to be messy at all. The Sharpie would be great with your little people.
We do crafts in the carport only.
I cannot share with you how much I love this. Miriam, my 11-year-old, recently was cleaning out her room and took an old tile that she had made when she was in kindergarten and asked if she could smash it. And what else are you going to do with kindergarten art? Yes, this is going to be the most fun. Good job.
It does make for a noisy prayer of confession.
Because you have the movement and you have to allow for.
Right. And everybody putting their tiles back into the basket was very loud.
So please tell me nobody complained about that.
Nobody complained.
How much extra time does it take if you're used to 30 seconds of silence? How much time are you allotting in the service for them to respond in that way?
A little more. I don't know how long, until it feels right. But I say something about it early on in the announcements. So if they want to start early, they can.
Awesome. Does anybody else have anything cooking? Monday, Thursday, what else? Palm Sunday, my favorite.
Well, Monday, Thursday, our congregations ridiculously excited because barring another spike, we're going to allow them to have the soup supper and then have worship around a big table. We're a small church. So we're going to make a circle table and put everybody around the horseshoe or whatever shape we can make out of our tables. And so we'll all eat soup together. And then as we're finishing eating, do the liturgy there because Jesus did it at their dinner table.
That, yeah, worship at table after doing a shared meal. I mean, you can't get more biblical than that. It's, I'm glad that's a moving experience for them that they're excited about. Does anybody else do potluck soup supper? I guess, or in the past, I know we have this like COVID situation, but I used to have big success with potluck soup suppers. For some reason, people of all generations love to make soup and crock pots. So we'd have like 20 crock pots lined up and people would just go and all share a simple soup supper together.
I don't remember if we had soup, but Karen, we did that at my former church, and I got the eco palms and laid the eco palms out on the table, and we actually served wine with that meal, which I'm not sure if we were supposed to or not, but we did. We had wine, tea, bread, and it was really powerful to have the lights down low and to have candles lit, and then have the palms around. There was so many senses were engaged because we had made the bread fresh so that you would smell it and see it. And then we sang around the table too. It was a very holy moment. And then we took the palms as we were cleaning up off of the table and onto the cross for the base layer for Palm Sunday, or for putting the flowers on the cross, which I highly recommend as another tradition, the flowering of the cross.
Yeah, we've had good success with that. I got in a little trouble because they used to put it on wheels and roll it down the aisle at the beginning of the service, and that was just too much for me. I was like, put this outside, keep it out there, it'll be beautiful. People can take pictures in front of it.
Well, but Kelly, one of my questions this year is, what are we going to do for those people who are immunocompromised or homebound and not ready to come back? I think most everybody's going to be ready to come back around where I am, but how can we make it inclusive for those who are still not in person yet?
Yeah, I always, sorry, I'm in the land of Florida where everything's like, what? What's going on? But yeah, I think that I saw so many creative expressions during COVID and just would catalog them. Like Palm Sunday is one of my favorites that people really, I think, stretch themselves to say, celebrate this at home, and just a simple marking of the house, like people were sharing palms on mailboxes and front doors and kind of having a more public display where they lived, whether that was they themselves cutting a branch and putting it out or something the church did, like as kind of drive-bys to mark their members' houses. I think people have had pretty impactful experiences with the bread and the wine and sharing communion in your home, even with a small liturgy, doing that on Monday, Thursday over a Zoom meeting. You just really want to infuse people with the word, and on Good Friday, just telling the story, and whether you give them the story to read and a candle to light, or you read it with them, or have deacons call and read the story with people one-on-one. If people are over Zoom, why not just pick up the phone and call and say, let's read this story together, and empower those deacons to do some stuff. And then really encouraging your people on Holy Saturday to take a Holy Saturday. I know we're often stuck in Easter egg hunt land. I'm ready for that to be done and over with. But it's not, a lot of people do that Easter egg hunt that Saturday before Easter, and that's when it happens. But why not really encourage people to take a down day, kind of have an outside down day? So again, even if they're not coming to your worship space, it's the rhythm and rituals of their daily lives that are reflecting kind of the overall thrust of the season. And then Easter, maybe that's their glorious return. They can high five everyone in the sanctuary, like I'm sure Jesus did that day. I don't-
Kelly, one of the most moving activities we ever did was somebody made a cross with lots of holes in it, and handed out nails. And on the Good Friday service, we nailed nails into that cross. And we just ended up, all of us, in tears, because you felt the complicity of nailing Jesus to the cross.
Yeah. Saw another church do a similar thing with, they kind of draped the cross, but ended up wrapping it in like a heavier canvas material, and church members like laid down flowers and sage and incense as a remembrance, and then wrapped the cross in that burlap and then like twined it. And it was really powerful too, just kind of that symbol of being with Jesus on that day. In nails are a very strong and sharp reminder of what happened that day, and depending on your congregation, you may need to soften that up a little bit. But
Kelly,
yes, ma'am.
this is Jerry Perkins here. What we did was we actually created a tomb, and created a garden scene in the chancel. And so at the Good Friday service, we replaced the purple cloth with a black shroud, and took the cloth and put it in the tomb as a body. We carried it and put it in there and rolled the stone away on Friday. And then on Sunday morning, we had an angel and the women who came to discover, came down the aisle and up to the chancel to discover an empty tomb. And that's been very effective and helpful for us, in several churches that I've served. And so I've just moved. So I've been here about 5 months, and this church is going to do that. And we're in the process of, getting ready to construct the tomb. But that's been a real powerful Friday to Sunday experience, using purple and black and white cloth.
And again, it works at Advent, right? The Christmas pageant and kind of the people dressed up in costumes portraying the story. It's a beloved part of our Christmas Advent celebration. So why not take those same elements, that same essence, and use it to tell the Easter story?
That's right. Then we on Monday, Thursday, we actually, as they come in, I invite them to the upper room and wash their hands. And talk with them about what Jesus did of taking a towel and wrapping it around himself and washing the disciples' feet. And then we reread the story, and then come to the table and have a Seder meal set out on the communion table and talk about what happened that night in the upper room, and then invite the congregation to come around the table to have communion. And then we sing a hymn and we go outside and do the betrayal part out there, to the arrest. And then that gets us on Monday, Thursday, gets us to where we need to be picking up on Good Friday. And over the years, I've found that, those kind of things to be really, really effective.
Yeah, I found a lot of intergenerational meshing happen on those. As long as you can, it is harder to include younger children into the Monday, Thursday, Good Friday stories as the violence increases. It's always kind of a tender walk. But, when you have families sitting around sharing meals, or, the intergenerational sharing of communion, or the tying ribbon to a cross, or the washing of the hands, it gives a lot of people different inroads to worship together, not just the pastor handing out the ash or the pastor handing out communion, but people actually getting to interact with one another. I think we'll need more than ever coming back post-COVID.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Awesome. Well, look at you guys. You're being creative. You're thinking through the experience of the service and not just the words on the page. You know, it doesn't have to always feel like an arts and crafts show. It doesn't always have to be a coloring page. It doesn't always have to be, you know, childlike. It just has to be like that next level of what am I hearing in the story that could be an experience for someone. Right, we're always starting. What I unfortunately had to follow like Anna Carter Florence, but I remember her saying that, like, if it's in the story, you know, keep the story at the center and let the preaching come from there. This stuff in the worship service can come from there too, you know. Like whenever you read the Ezekiel and the dry bones, do you not hear the bones rattling? Like, you know, a lot of these stories people will come to tie into. If you're just, again, keeping it simple, not reinventing the wheel, keep the rituals strong. For as long as you're there, they know that this happens during Lent, or this happens during Easter, or this happens during this service. Those are the bigger things that people are going to pick up on, not the catchiness of your Lenten theme. That's not strong enough to really stick with somebody. It's the sense that they got from that season. So that's what you're trying to infuse in people so they can leave the season of Lent and say, wow, that was a spiritual movement of fasting, almsgiving, and prayer. And that was great. Now on the Easter season, and then the Pentecost. And yeah, I think you'll get a reward from it too. I think you'll have congregants that are thinking, what's she going to do next? What's she going to ask me to do? What is he going to have me go build in my backyard? And you're going to pull in all your artists too. Bring these people on board. Make sure the artists in your congregation are on your worship council or your committee that brainstorms and dreams up the season, and see what those poets have to add and the artists have to add and the bakers have to add, and see how they can use their gifts in creative talent in ways. Julie mentioned our Lent Consortium on Facebook. So if you are still on Facebook, you are more than welcome to join. It's a private group now because the trolls have gotten trollier. So we are now a private group, but if you have a friend in the group, you get added automatically. So chances are CTS alumni are already connected.
And Kelly and I are both friends, and we can let you in.
Yeah, between Julie and I, will make sure you get in there. But it's a great, honestly, Julie, it's like 7 or 8 years of stuff now. So you can use that little search button in the group and type in candle liturgies, and you'll get all the reverse candle liturgies you're looking for. Or you'll type in Monday, Thursday, and you'll get all sorts of activities and scripts and everything related to Tenebrae to family-friendly, meals. So I don't know. It's a good little resource there. We have one for Advent on the brain, and one for Pentecost planning. The ordinary time one isn't as loved.
I didn't know there was an ordinary time one.
Extraordinary time is what it's called. People you can't do this all the time, right? You got to hit the high notes so they know it's different, so they know something's changed.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much. And Kelly has told you where you can find her if you want to reach out for more information or keep the creative juices flowing. But Kelly, we are grateful for your time with us. Thank you, and blessings on your Lent. You are all invited to take a 15-minute break. And if you would like to, come back at 4:30 my time for a closing circle, which will be a time for us to take prayer requests, to wrap up any final things, and talk a little bit about what you learned, what you liked, what you'd like to see next year at Colloquium. So thank you, Kelly, and thank you all.
Thanks, guys. It was nice seeing some old friends.